Bonjour. So today we're going to do a new segment called My Media Friends Advice, which is where I ask my media friends, because you can listen to me talk all day long, but let's get some fresh voices in here. I ask my media friends what 3 pieces of advice they would give to their younger selves before they knew anything about the media industrial complex. And the friend I just got off the phone with is right now making a decision whether to move to the New York Times or stay at his current job at BuzzFeed and get an even higher 6-figure salary. Quite the dilemma. I know it's a bit of a bourgeoisie dilemma, but nonetheless, this is my friend, and here are his 3 pieces of advice. Number 1. Most people are flying by the seat of their pants, he says to me. And he found this out quite quickly, even after his first internship at Business Insider a month in. He said, a month into my first internship in New York City, I realized that, not as many people quite had the answers as he thought from the outside. That on the outside, when he was in college, he thought there was specific ways of doing things, and there was professionals, and they knew how to get clicks and articles written and what the thumbnails should look like. And in reality, things change so rapidly and so quick that many people don't actually know what they're doing, and people are kind of winging it all the time. So first piece of advice is that a lot of people are winging it. Second piece of advice is that in reality, it's not as lucrative as you think. There's not as much money in media as he thought. That both at the company level, that companies don't have as much money as you would think. Vice, BuzzFeed, and CBS. None of these companies are as rich or as wealthy as he had perceived. But 2, people aren't making as much money as he had thought when he first got into the industry. It seemed kind of glamorous, but in reality, while there is a select few top elite people making a lot of money, most internships to entry-level to mid-level jobs are not making that much money. And it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're at CBS or Vice News or pick the media company you want to work at. The likelihood is that they're making, that writer you really like, that person you see on camera, they're probably making $50,000, $55,000. It is not a company or a job flush with capital, with dollar bills. People are fighting over scraps, and even at his first job, he said, he was telling me that something that occurred all the time was that a game him and his fellow junior level employees would play is to figure out how much money everybody was making, and they would realize, wait a minute, our manager's making this much money? Well, we're getting paid $15 an hour. How do we make $45,000 an hour? And then the continual struggle to get a little bit of raise here, bargain for a little more money there from HR, because if you didn't get that $5,000 raise, then your coworker was going to get that $5,000 raise. And the company was only going to give one person one raise that year because they didn't have that much money left in the bank. And so if you're thinking you're going to make a lot of money going into media, do not go into the career. It is not as lucrative as he had thought. And his third piece of advice is that traffic is king. Traffic is the most important thing. To quote him,
I honestly don't give a damn about anything except for traffic.
All right. But traffic is all important for you as an employee too. That if you're able to generate traffic at your job, then you have value in the company. You have leverage. If you don't drive traffic, then it's hard to really find value in you at that company. And that if you want to write about something, you need to drive traffic. And that the idea that I'm just going to write about this and then people are going to be interested in it, no. Not the case. Not the case at all. That you got to figure out what the audience wants. You got to think about what the audience is interested in and how they're interested in consuming that piece of content. And without thinking about the audience in mind, you are going to crash and burn like a drunk jet pilot into the Pacific Ocean. It's just not going to work. And that traffic trumps all. That you have to drive traffic. And without driving traffic, you have no leverage in the company. But if you do drive traffic, then you have a lot of leverage. And you can turn around and say, I drive a lot of traffic for this beat or this style, or whatever you want to focus on. So yes, you can tell the stories you want to tell, but only if you're able to drive traffic to those stories. Because as he said, anybody can write an article that nobody clicks. They're not paying you to write articles that nobody clicks. Anybody can do that. Anybody can write an article that nobody clicks. They're paying you to write articles that people do click. That is supposed to be your salary right there. That is your inherent value in the company. So that great piece on healthcare, or that great piece on succulents, or whatever silly thing you're interested in, great. If it drives traffic, great. If it does not drive traffic, out the door. Sounds a little harsh, but hey, that's how you wind up fighting between BuzzFeed and the New York Times. So those are his 3 pieces of advice. Hopefully you found this interesting or insightful through the looking glass here. If you did, click like, subscribe. Don't smash it, gently click subscribe, gently click like, or just leave a comment if you found this interesting. Maybe I'll do another segment tomorrow and have another friend and his or her 3 tips of advice to what they would say to a young, incipient, nascent media drone. I'm just kidding. You're not a drone. Everybody is a unique individual snowflake.